Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Trader's Mind Chat live show. Today, we are doing our live trading of stocks. We're going to talk about open trades, ideas that are on the focus list, ideas that are on the radar, and trades that are in the neighborhood that are beginning to set up. And with the market the way that it is today, well, let's just take a look. Lots of stuff happening in the market, lots of stuff to talk about. Basically, like here we are, major indices, right? So I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about this at all. So major indexes following downward to the downside, continuing downtrends across the board on daily time frames, on weekly time frames, and over here on monthly time frames as well, pretty much across the board. Even NYSE following through to the downside. So we have all indices all heading downward. That's a major shift. Part of what I was seeing too on the news was that like the market is finally crashing and things like that. Like that, I don't think that the market is finally crashing. Like if you come back over here to what we were looking at in uh, November for this whole ride, right? So I'll just turn the annotations back on for a moment so you guys could see what I'm talking about here. Well, one of the ways that I like to mark up my charts and analyze the overall health of the market is by highlighting like what I consider to be a red, yellow, or green condition. Basically, when we're in a red condition, that's a sign to pump the brakes, trade lightly, if at all. And then when we transition into a yellow condition, that's becoming more favorable. All right, start to put on risks, start to test some positions. When we're in a green condition, then that means all systems are go. Let's bet heavier. And you can see a lot like from back here in mid-November, there wasn't like we've basically been in a red condition since the middle of November, minus some tiny little blips where things started to turn, but very quickly, right? Like, and you're out immediately too, right? So 2 points on the yellow condition to red condition before we move on to open trades and everything else. But yellow condition switched to red, and you can see over here too that the red started to move higher, right? Like, so just because the index is moving higher, it doesn't mean that it's a great time to trade. So got out back here. Then over here too, it started to transition higher following day, right? So this was yellow, this was red. So getting out here moved a little bit higher, but like out already, and then it starts to come back in. This These 2 days, okay, a little bit of chop, no big deal. Same thing over here, and now avoiding this mess, right? So it's the state of the market is like you don't need to wait for the news cycle to tell you when something is happening. You could see it happening right before your eyes if you learn how to read the market. All right, so let's get into today's agenda, right? Open trades, entries, targets, stops, and management. All right, so open trades right now, there are none. I don't have any open trades right now. Yes, early in the week, I started a small position in MLI. I saw this setting up potential double bottom. And one of the things that I liked about this trade at the time was this day right here, right? So I'll put the little replay feature on this idea, right? Advance it by 1 day, advance it by one more day. So when it reversed off the lows, closed at highs, and it did that on heavy volume, and you also had this, right? Relative strength line, new high before price new high. So this is telling me that this at the time is leading the market higher. So great. So I want to enter on a breakout above this level, have a stop below this level because when price came down, right? And let me know if everything follows along. This is a live stream, so type your questions in as we go. So price comes down on this day, reverses off of it, closes near the high, heavy volume. This is telling me that the buyer stepped in right at that level. And if you notice, there's a few of these squiggly lines around there, right? Like these moving averages. So it has the 50-day moving average, that's the red one. The purple one for me, that's the 21-day exponential moving average. I like both of those a lot uh, as a short-term momentum-based swing trader. Those are the main ones that I'm looking at, and there's a few other shorter ones on here too that I pay attention to. But those are the main ones that I like to see. What, excuse me, when trying to figure out where do I want to place a stop. So price bounces off there. Great. So I set my entry around here, my stop loss in that neighborhood. Target was about 30 or what was it, like 75, I think, at the time. So price just triggers the entry point and then it squats. But on this day, here's something else too, right? Like it closed below the buy point, but it closed off the lows, uh, close to the middle of the trading range. And not only that, it closed above the short-term moving averages. So all positive things in there. Great. But also on that day, I'm coming into the intraday charts and I'm noticing, right? So over here on the 30-minute, that it got support around here. That's where it bounced. So I'm like, okay, if it starts to break below this line right here, then that's where I would want to cut the loss quicker. And part of that rationale is one because it will be making a lower low intraday, um, as well as on the daily. But another factor too is the market environment. The market is not at my back. It's almost like running into the wind. Still a stock that's leading, still in a leading group, but the market's not gonna bail out a trade that's going over. So like if this trade wasn't working right away, then I'd want to cut that loser a bit faster and save myself. Those smaller losses like add up over time. Like where if you're taking a half half the size of a loss that you normally would, that's going to add up over time and save you a bundle if you know how to cut it the right way. So in this example, price started to come back in. Okay, great, cut it there. And then today, you can see what happened today, right? Like so price gap down at the open, right? If we switch this chart to say a 5-minute chart, price gap down like way over here, right? Like let's put it to a 1-minute chart to see like where price actually opened. So price opened way down here below the initial stop loss. So in cutting the loss early, I saved myself about 1 R, right? One times my risk. So that what ended up being a great move, and it's an advanced tactic, right? Um, knowing how and when to cut a loss, like it's more than just uh, let me set my stop and that's it. Call it a day. Oh, we need to be a little bit more advanced, a little bit more tactical than that. If you want to play at a higher level. No, and if you're part of this live stream, I assume that that's part of why you're here, that you're tuning in every week. So that's MLI, and for right now, no open trades for me, but plenty of things that are interesting on the focus list, right? And so when I'm keeping a focus list, some of the things that I like to do is I like to filter down on my trades. I want to see the entire market, then filter it down into the just the stocks that have the criteria that I'm interested in. Then look at potentially bullish setups, then ones that are actionable, then ones that I want to maybe buy. Um, Also, in like a not like a parallel universe, but like just like a little separate over here. I want to keep the shorts, right? Like ideas that I'm considering for shorts, and I want to keep it separate from this here. And the reason why is because it's giving me key data about market health, right? Like if I'm tracking the bullish setups that the market has right now, right? Like I'm not deciding like, well, what's a bullish setup or not. Well, I kind of am based on the system, but the market is the one that's presenting the setups, right? So if I see bullish setups and if the quality of them is so, then that's telling me that the it's not a great time to trade. If I see setups, right? Bullish setups, and the market is smacking them, then that's something that's also giving me great feedback about the current market conditions. So that's why I like to keep a track of all these trades, and I do this every single day. So by the way, if you're here and you're in the chat too, well, let me know that you're here. Let me know that you hear everything okay. Make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. That's going to help boost this. I'm just scrolling through here looking for the little banner as if this is going to help remind people. Anyway, I'll keep that there for a moment. So I've got some ideas on the focus list. So all these ideas came. I saw potential setups as yesterday, right? So didn't end up buying any of these. None of them were of high enough quality for me to want to put orders in. Uh, and so just seeing this list here gives me more insight into the market. And yeah, the market is punishing bullish setups, right? Like here's one that would have broken out and is now underwater too. So knowing the quality of the setups that you have on hand is important, and seeing how the market treats them uh, is important too, right? Like yeah, like all these are just getting slammed here. This is the only one that I think that's positive on the day right here. NTR. See, yeah, MCK, like all of them just like broke down immediately. And you know what? If trades break down immediately on you, it's the second best thing that they could do, right? The first best thing that they could do for us is make us money. The second best thing is fall apart before we buy them. So just keep rolling through some of these. Let me know if you have any questions or if there's trades that you'd like me to take a look at. Put those into the chat and we could discuss them. But yeah, all these just falling apart here. Now here were a couple of shorts, right? So this was a short from the other day, and this is one of the reasons why shorts are can be very tricky, right? So here's a short, right? Like it, and the short pattern is this like price runs down, forms this almost like a pennant, right? Like where price is running down like this. So imagine like this is a pole, and you have a pennant forming this way, right? Like so pennant, bearish pennant. The bullish pennant is kind of like this. Bearish pennant has the flag part or the pennant part down on the bottom. That's what we have over here. So this continues and does that again, but look what happens. Right? Price breaks down and then all of a sudden falls and then rebounds super hard where if you didn't cover your short down here, then you're probably sitting at a loss right now. So for those of you that like to short, that shorting is a wonderful thing. Shorting, you can make money very quickly, but but you do need to be quick on the trigger. Here's one that's working fantastically well. All right, let's expand this so you can see it a little bit better. All right, similar setup. Price comes down, starts to wedge higher. This is more of like a bearish triangle, almost like splitting hairs with the names. Like it's the same kind of tightening up range below all of its moving averages over here, and then starts to break down. And this produced what it produced for us. It produced about about 1.5 hours so far, something like that. But this too, this is another situation where you'd want to take some gains here, right? Because shorts do have a tendency to pull back hard. So take profits here, maybe take half, and then allow the rest to continue falling. And it's one of the ways in trading that you can have your cake and eat it too. Any other thoughts or comments or anything, type into the chat. Let me know. And we'll take a look at some stocks in the neighborhood. We'll bring over MarketSmith for that. So these were a few ideas in the neighborhood. Stocks that are in the neighborhood are ones that are, or at least were getting close to setting up as of yesterday. Let's see how these ones are doing. And you notice too, right? Like, so what? One of the cool things about MarketSmith is that you could sort by all these different columns down here. Um, Many stocks in the energy, they were well. What attracted me, what kind of caught my attention yesterday, day before, was seeing several banks potentially setting up. So like FFWM was there. Now that trade obviously it never triggered to the long side, and it broke down, and now it's gonna be kicked out of the in the neighborhood list. But there was also what was there from earlier? Uh, SBNY, I think it was. SBNY. Yeah, that broke down immediately, didn't trigger. There was another one, SFBS, also broke down immediately. So those are coming off. Right? This still gets to hang out there. This is breaking down, gonna kick that one. Yeah, you know what? I could kick these. Well, why not prune my list while I'm on the live stream with you guys? You get to see the process a little bit, and I get to do the work here and save myself some time later on. Yeah, so this is still consolidating. Unlikely to trigger an entry or be buyable tomorrow or today even, but still gets to stay in the neighborhood. This one too. All these guys just continuing to move sideways, and now you're getting a little bit more of a feel of how quickly I just go and look through them myself. This this was a potential, could have been a potential flag or something setting up over there. Very short term setup, like right around here. if that started to consolidate a bit better. But with this coming in the way that it is, that's going to take a little bit more time to repair. So I'm kicking this off. This as well. Yeah, none of these. Yeah, this could come off too. All right. So not a whole lot in the neighborhood focus list. Um, the market beats it up. It's all a good thing. It's all great information for us. Everything that the market does, if we can approach it from just the data gathering perspective, uh, you're a researcher, you're a scientist, you're gathering data, and that data is going to help you figure out, well, where is the market at? Um, how is it performing? Is it getting ready to turn? And if you're able to do that, then you'll be early when the market does start to turn and all the news is still negative, and it might look otherwise insane to be like, oh my god, the world is going to end. Well, if the setups are there, right? Then it's time to step on the gas. It's just like back here. If we take a look at uh, at the COVID area, right? Come back all the way to 2020, right? We're buying right in here. Why? Stocks started to set up in there. The news didn't change at all. Like the news has been horrendous for a very long time, but in here, like stocks are setting up. It's time to buy, right? The same thing is going to happen over here. The news will continue to be horrible. What you need to look for is what's the market actually doing? How are stocks behaving? And it's why I continue to track this stuff every day for our members. So, all that said, um, let me know what questions you guys have. We'll do a little bit of open Q&A here. Do some open Q&A. And also, uh, the marketing team had me come up with this here. So I want to share this with you guys. So for everybody that's here, if you do like the live streams, you're definitely going to like the elite program because you're going to get a lot more interaction with me. We do 4 hours of live group coaching every week. Right. So, well, what is that? That's 16 hours of live group coaching per month that you could be a part of. 3 hours every Saturday, an hour on Wednesdays, and then we're available inside the Discord chat. But for you guys that are here on the live streams, and this isn't being promoted anywhere else, uh, if you're interested in the checking out the elite program, send an email to code@marrowwealth.net and we'll send you a special offer. So go check that out and we'll see you in the program. All right, back to the open Q&A. Let me know what questions you guys have. Let's see. Looking over here at YouTube, looking over here at ShareVision, looking over there at Facebook, who's going to be the first to break the ice. Let's see. Well, what else do we have going on talking about markets? So, well, what did you guys think about the live stream the other day with Leif? Right? And some of the great questions that the question that he had, the question of the day, the key indicators that tell you how the market is performing, right? Well, type into the chat. Let me know what some of the indicators that you consider uh, for how the market is performing. Well, what's your key indicators of market health? For me, you might already know the answer, but But since we've been talking about it so much, but one of the key indicators is what are the stocks actually doing, right? Like so that it you don't need much. You don't need tons of news or loads of indicators. Well, what's so helpful is seeing the actual stocks that are setting up, and your list will tell you exactly uh, how the market is behaving. If you're a type of person that likes to not have a whole bunch of lists, but to have your portfolio, then guess what? Like it's almost like a list, and it's that portfolio is giving you feedback as well. So two great things, right? Like your lists and your portfolio, giving you great feedback on the overall health of the market. All right, so I think we will wrap it up here. I want to say thank you all so much for tuning in today. We will be picking it up next week, next Tuesday at 2 o'clock. I will see you then. Take care. Much love. Peace out, everybody. Have a great weekend. Hey, thanks so much for sticking around to the end. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button down below and become a part of the Marrow Wealth community. And make sure that you check out some of the other videos on the channel. They're exactly what you need to see. And leave a comment down below. I read all of them. Leave a comment.